So, I want you to imagine trading the eternal souls of your own twin children just to, like, get your country club membership back.
Right, which sounds completely absurd.
It sounds like a joke.
Hmm.
But that is actually the horrifying reality of the Castellanter family that we are looking at today.
Yeah, it really is.
Because, usually you take out a mortgage, you get a house, you put down a deposit, you get a car. The math makes sense.
Sure, standard transactions.
Exactly. But when you step into the world of infernal bargains in Faerun, the logic of risk versus reward is so fundamentally broken, it makes your head spin.
It really is a completely inverted transactional landscape. We are talking about the ultimate expression of power at any price, where the currency isn't just goal, it's a fundamental essence of human existence.
Yeah, and that is exactly our mission for you today in this deep dive. We are tearing into session 24 of this campaign.
Which is fittingly titled Third Sun Energy.
Yes, Third Sun Energy. We are going to explore the sheer terrifying scale of these infernal contracts. I mean, we're looking at everything from the local corrupt machinations of Waterdavian nobles.
All the way up to the geopolitical god-stealing schemes of Atayan Lich.
Right. But we're also going to balance those massive cosmic stakes with the deeply human, grounded moments that, honestly, keep this adventuring party from completely losing their minds.
Because if you don't understand the micro-level reasons these characters keep fighting, like, the found family, the quiet moment.
The everyday stuff.
Exactly. Without that, the macro-level threats just feel like empty noise.
Totally. Okay, let's unpack this and set the board for you. The party is currently in Waterdeep's dock ward.
Yeah.
But they're severely understaffed right now.
Very much so.
Because Vagfrir, the Tabaxi barbarian, has wandered off drunk to do what is vaguely described as cat things.
Which is always a wild card.
Always. And Shane, the rogue, has vanished into the shadowy gambling dens of Skullport.
So they're missing their heavy hitters.
Right. That leaves what Valessa affectionately calls the pointy-eared gang, Santol, Talia, and Valessa herself, to shoulder just an absurd amount of geopolitical weight.
Yeah, and it starts with what has to be, honestly, the worst return on investment in the history of Waterdeep.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about the Castellanter families packed with Asmodeus.
Yeah.
The trio is sitting at this dockside cafe trying to digest all this over breakfast.
A heavy breakfast topic.
I mean, right. The details are just sickening. Victorio and Amelia Castellanter promised their children's souls to the Lord of the Nine Hells.
And in exchange, they got 1,000,000 gold dragons and the restoration of their tarnished family name.
Just for social status. But to keep their twin children, Terenzio and Elzarina, safe from eternal damnation, the parents have to exploit this loophole.
Right, the 99 souls.
Yeah. They must provide 99 innocent souls and repay the 1,000,000 gold by a very specific date.
And we cannot gloss over the down payment here. I mean, their eldest son, Osvaldo, was already taken the night the deal was struck.
Oh, God, yeah. That part is...
He wasn't just killed, He was transformed into a chain devil. He was literally twisted into an instrument of infernal torture.
And they keep him locked away in their own home?
Yes, right in the attic, basically.
See, this is where my brain just short circuits. I look at this like the ultimate predatory payday loan.
That's a great way to put it.
I mean, you are trading eternal damnation for your kids just to get your social status back.
Yeah.
You know how these contracts work in the lore? Is this just pure, unfiltered hubris, or is it genuinely terrible financial planning?
Honestly, it's absolute blinding hubris, and it's born out of the echo chamber of high society.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, the Castellanters didn't just want comfort, right? They wanted their name to mean something again. In Waterdeep's nobility, prestige is like an intoxicating drug.
Right. It's everything to them.
And when you live in a world where your wealth has always insulated you from consequences, you start to believe that cosmic law operates like municipal law.
Oh, like you could just pay a fine and make it go away.
Exactly. You think you can just hire a better lawyer or find a loophole. If we connect this to the bigger picture, they convinced themselves they could reap the rewards immediately and somehow engineer a way out before the bill came due.
Which is just staggering arrogance.
Yeah.
So knowing they need allies who aren't implicated in this Ashmodite cult, the trio visits the Durenbold villa.
Right, trying to find some local support.
Yeah. And they lay all this out for Valeriana and Keith Durenbold. The contrast in their reactions is just incredible. Valeriana literally faints onto a couch.
Right on cue.
She swoons the moment her high society friends are accused of devil worship.
It's the classic sheltered noble defense mechanism, The reality of what props up their comfortable lives as just too ugly to process.
So her brain just completely shuts it down.
Exactly. She just nopes right out of the conversation.
But her wife, Kaith, who we should mention used to be an adventurer, she doesn't miss a beat. She steps right up.
Yeah, she has that grounded pragmatism.
Totally. She immediately offers to smuggle the party into a Castle Hunter gathering disguised as servants.
It's a really solid, practical plan.
It is. Valessa even starts crafting a magical hairpin to cast a subtle illusion over Sayantal to hide their tiefling horns. It's this beautifully contained local infiltration plan.
It is a great plan, but the theme of this session is that toxic, predatory contracts aren't just a local problem.
Oh, man.
The party is about to find out that power at any price is an international crisis.
And talk about terrible timing. I mean, right in the middle of planning this local heist, Talia gets a desperate telepathic SOS from the merchant Seracia.
Which just derails everything.
Completely. Seracia is essentially being held hostage by the Thayan embassy. They're threatening her shop license just to force a meeting with the party.
Which is such a tie-in move, by the way, leveraging bureaucracy as a weapon.
Right. So the party heads over, and they sit down with a red wizard named Yathra Saloon. And Yathra just slides this massive offer across the table.
50,000 gold dragons.
50,000. Plus a writ of protection signed by the Lich King Sastam himself.
Which, just for context, a writ from Sastam is effectively diplomatic immunity from the most terrifying undead nation on the continent. It's huge.
It's life-changing money and safety. But the asking price is insane. They want 3 specific things.
Right, let's list them.
First, the Calamus Pactum. Second, the hidden Nathlum pages, which detail the ritual of the lawful draw. And third, they want the cleric Lysandra Mortain handed over to them.
No, anyone else would be sweating here.
But Siantel flatly refuses the gold, and instead casually demands a direct diplomatic summit with Sastam.
And Yathra actually agrees to submit the request.
Which is wild. But wait, hold on. We are talking about Red Wizard Thathay here.
Yes.
They are famous for ruthless aggression, necromancy, and, assassinations. Why on earth are they offering 50,000 gold and negotiating?
It does seem out of character.
Right. Why not just fireball the room, kill the party, and take the items? It feels like a trap.
You'd think so, given their reputation, but it actually isn't a trap in the traditional sense. It really comes down to the delicate cosmic mechanics of what Sastam is actually trying to accomplish.
Okay, how so?
Well, this isn't a simple smash and grab for a powerful artifact. You have to look at what those 3 items actually represent.
Okay, break that down for me, because, a quill, some pages, and a cleric sounds like a weird scavenger hunt.
Right. Let's start with the Calamus Pactum. This isn't just a magical pen. It is an infernal quill forged by Asmodeus himself.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Contracts signed with it actually bind reality. Then you have the Nathlum pages, which, as Valessa's research reveals, contain the ritual of the lawful draw.
Right, which we learned about earlier.
Exactly. And the lawful draw doesn't just break an infernal bond, it exploits the contractual architecture of the cosmos.
Wait, meaning what?
Meaning, in the right hands, with enough power, it allows a mortal to mantle a god, to completely usurp a deity's portfolio.
So they are just trying to break a deal. Sastam is trying to become a god. And the party suspects the god he is bound to, and therefore the one he intends to mantle, is Bane, the god of tyranny.
Precisely. And that brings us to the third requirement, Lysandra Mortain.
The cleric.
Yes, the chosen of Jurgal. Now, Jurgal is the scribe of the dead. Lysandra essentially acts as a divine notary.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Right. If you are trying to execute a cosmic loophole to steal a god's throne, you need the paperwork to be flawless.
You literally need an active cosmic bureaucracy.
Exactly. You need a divine witness to stamp the cosmic ledger, so you do not risk a sloppy combat encounter where a stray fireball snaps the Calamus Pactum in half.
Or accidentally kills your divine notary.
Yes. Yathra's diplomatic restraint isn't kindness, it is sheer terror. The Thayans are terrified of messing up a ritual of this magnitude. It requires absolute surgical precision.
Okay, that makes so much sense. You don't bring a sledgehammer to a heart transplant.
Perfectly said.
But still, Santal booking a meeting with a legendary lich, like they're scheduling a performance review, is just wild.
It takes serious nerve.
It does. And obviously, if you're going to have a diplomatic summit with an undead dictator who is actively trying to become the god of tyranny, you can't just stroll in with 3 people.
No, definitely.
You need the heaviest hitter in the city.
Which brings our party straight to the doors of Blackstaff Tower.
Exactly. They need a credible witness for this summit. So Valessa starts sending these urgent, borderline harassing, telepathic messages to the wizard Gale Dekarios.
Just pinging him nonstop.
Yeah, she has to name drop Celeste Tam just to
Yeah.
get him to open the door. They finally get an audience with Vajra Safar, the Black Staff of Waterdeep.
The ultimate magical authority in the city.
And the party just unloads everything on her desk in one breath. Like the Calamus Pactum, the God-mantling ritual, Sastam's intentions.
It's a massive geopolitical data dump.
It really is. But then, as they are wrapping up the meeting, Santal pulls this maneuver that I can only describe as the classic Columbo technique.
Oh, it is brilliant tactical manipulation. What's fascinating here is how seamlessly they pull it off.
It really is. For anyone who hasn't seen the old detective show, Columbo would always interview a suspect, seem totally satisfied, start walking toward the door.
The false exit.
Yes, the false exit. And then he'd stop, turn around and say, just one more thing, before dropping the most devastating, trap-springing piece of evidence.
And that is exactly what Siantal does.
They are practically at the door when they casually mention, oh, by the way, there's an active cult of Asmodeus, the Ashmodai operating in the city, and the Castellanters are running it.
Boom. I mean, think about the corner they just backed Vajra into.
She has nowhere to go.
Right. Because as the Black Staff, her primary duty is the defense of Waterdeep. By dumping an international god-level threat on her desk, they demand her attention on a macro scale.
Yeah.
But by immediately following it up with a localized aristocratic devil cult poisoning her own city, they make it impossible for her to dismiss them.
Because it's her backyard.
Exactly. She can't ignore Sastam because he might tear the world apart. And she can't ignore the Castellanters because they are a rot inside her own walls.
She is completely trapped by her own civic duty.
Exactly. She demands physical evidence against the Castellanters to legally start an investigation, but she has no choice but to fully commit her resources to the party's tie-in summit.
And those resources happen to be Gale.
Poor Gale.
Vajra turns around and just commands Gale to be the party's official witness. And Gale is furious.
He's a busy guy.
He is sputtering about his classes, his teaching schedule, how his students need him, and Vajra just completely steamrolls him.
She doesn't care at all.
Nope. She assigns his assistant to cover his classes and tells him he's going. And Valessa, watching this archmage get publicly dressed down, diagnoses Gale with third son energy.
Which is such a specifically devastating insult if you understand Menzoberranzan culture.
You've got to unpack that for the listener because, like, it's hilarious on its face, but the lore behind it is brutal.
It really is. So in Drow society, particularly where Valessa's from, the culture is fiercely matriarchal and dictated by the chaotic, evil whims of the spider goddess, Lolth. Males are already treated as second-class citizens, basically useful only for breeding or frontline combat.
Just totally disposable.
Very much so. But a third living son. By law and strict tradition, the third son born to a noble house is considered entirely superfluous.
Oh, wow.
In fact, they are traditionally sacrificed to Lolth. So when Valessa looks at Gale and tells him he has a third son energy, she is basically saying, you are utterly expendable.
Ouch.
Right. You exist at the whim of powerful women, you have no real agency, and your complaints are entirely irrelevant to your survival.
It is just incredibly savage. Gale is catching absolute strays from a drow wizard who barely knows him just because he complained about his lesson plans.
But you know, the manipulation works. They secure their heavy-hitting witness.
They do. And after this exhausting day of negotiating with red wizards and cornering the magical defender of Waterdeep, the party finally goes home to the Blushing Mermaid.
Yes.
And this is where the deep dive takes the most incredible tonal pivot.
We go straight from cosmic, apocalyptic stakes to the messy reality of domestic life.
And I love this so much. Valessa reunites with her 3 adopted daughters, Nicene, Rusura, and Kyla. Keep in mind, Valessa just spent the afternoon outwitting Cyan diplomats and psychoanalyzing archmages.
Right, she's been playing high-level chess all day.
Yeah. And she walks into their room, and the girls are surrounded by shopping bags.
A ridiculous amount of shopping bags.
Exactly. They have new clothes, expensive jewelry, and Kyla even bought a brand new holy symbol of the goddess Illustre.
Which isn't cheap.
No. And Valessa's looking at this haul, wondering where on earth they got the money. Here's where it gets really interesting.
Because they're so proud to explain how they earned it.
They proudly confess to running a street grift.
They're little con artists.
They used incredibly simple, beginner magic-like cantrips. Things like prestidigitation to instantly clean a nobleman's tunic, or an unseen servant to quickly sweep a porch.
But the magic wasn't the product.
No, the grift was in the performance. They executed these trivial spells with exaggerated theatrical exhaustion.
So smart.
Right. They acted like it was draining their very life force, clutching their chests and sweating, just so they could guilt the wealthy locals into paying premium hazard pay prices for basic chores.
It's brilliant. It's street theater applied to magical supply and demand.
It's a total hustle. And Valessa just has this moment of profound, exhausted parental realization. She just looks at them and says, oh, I didn't know I was raising con artists.
It's just such a mom moment.
Totally. And right in the middle of this, Seantol briefly summons their Modron assistant, 742B.
Oh, this part is great.
Yeah, for the listener, if you don't know what a Modron is, it's essentially a geometric creature of absolute pure cosmic law.
Literally a gear in the cosmic machine.
Right. And Seantol just hands this being of pure order some banking logistics to sort out, and it vanishes. The juxtaposition is just poetry.
It really is.
You have the rigidity of cosmic law on one hand and 3 teenagers running a hustle with cleaning magic on the other. Valessa can handle international espionage, but she is completely outplayed by teenagers with a mall trip agenda.
It is deeply funny, but we shouldn't overlook why this scene is so crucial to the narrative.
Okay, why is that?
Because this warm, bickering, slightly chaotic domesticity, that is exactly what the party is fighting to protect.
Oh. You know, when you put it like that, the contrast with the beginning of the session is stark.
Exactly. Look at the 2 sets of parents we've analyzed today.
Right, the Castellanters versus Valessa.
Yes. On one side, you have Victoro and Amalia Castellanter. They represent the highest tier of human privilege, and they literally traded their children's eternal souls to a devil just to maintain their wealth.
They literally view their children as capital.
Exactly. On the other side, you have Valessa. She is a former victim of Menzo Baranzon's unimaginable cruelty. She's trying to provide a safe, normal life for 3 adopted girls who have their own traumatic pasts.
Yeah, she's breaking the cycle.
And the fact that her girls are out in the sun, safely running harmless street grifts to buy jewelry rather than being sacrificed in a blood ritual, that is a massive, tangible victory.
It grounds the high-level D&D geopolitics.
Exactly. You don't fight a Lich King just to save a map or a magical quill. You fight a Lich King so your kids can safely go shopping in the market.
That is the whole point, isn't it? The cosmic stakes only matter if you actually care about the fragile human lives caught in the crossfire.
Precisely.
Session 24 just balances that dynamic perfectly. Yeah. It masterfully weaves the macro threat of SAS-TAM trying to hack the cosmic ledger with the micro stakes of raising mischievous daughters and dealing with bureaucratic Modrons.
It requires a remarkable agility from the characters, navigating between those 2 worlds.
You have to operate on the highest levels of magical theory with Vajra Safar, but you also have to figure out how to sneak into a cocktail party using a hairpin.
Which is the beauty of a great campaign.
Well, that wraps up our analysis for this session, but, you know, we never like to leave you without a lingering thought to chew on.
And there is a massive conceptual question hanging over this entire situation with the lawful draw. This raises an important question, actually.
Okay, lay it on us.
You might be thinking about the immediate danger of SAS-TAM gaining power, but look at the actual mechanics of what happens after a successful usurpation.
If he actually pulls off the ritual.
Right. If this ritual genuinely allows a mortal to mantle a god through a contractual loophole, what happens to that god's existing followers?
Oh, wow. I hadn't even thought about the people on the ground.
Think of a deity's portfolio like the majority shares in a cosmic corporation.
Okay.
If SAS-TAM successfully executes this hostile takeover and mantles Bane, the god of tyranny, does the entire religion across Faerun instantly rewrite itself?
That's a wild thought.
Do the clerics of Bane wake up the next morning, pray for their spells, and suddenly feel the cold, undead magic of a Taion Lich answering them?
Oh, that would be horrifying.
Or, and this might be worse, does this cosmic loophole trigger a massive holy war? Mantling a god isn't just a promotion for the victor, you are inheriting millions of zealots.
And if they don't accept the new boss?
Exactly. If those zealots reject the new management, you could tear the entire continent apart in a religious civil war.
That is a deeply terrifying thought to leave on. A hostile corporate takeover, except all the shareholders are religious zealots, armed with maces and divine magic.
Exactly. High stakes.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into Third Sun energy. It just goes to show you, whether you are staring down a red wizard of Thay offer you 50,000 gold, Or you're just trying to manage the fight out of an overpriced teenager's shopping spree.
Both are equally stressful.
They really are. But knowledge really is your best weapon. Just make sure you always read the fine print. We'll catch you next time.